Dobre. Hello, I'm Benoit. I'm very scared and happy at the same time to be the first to speak after Peter and Galina. And we are working and we are involved, in fact, with Food Non-Bob Sofia for a few years. And the group I'm part of is named ATD Fourth World. ATD means All Together in Dignity. We are a movement, a worldwide movement of solidarity among and with persons and families the most abandoned and stigmatized because of poverty all over the world. And we try to bring together people from different walks of life to think and to act together. Standing all together for dignity, it means that we are acting so that everybody could be taken into account, that every opinion could be taken into account. We are in Bulgaria since 2015, and not only in Bulgaria, in fact, in Southeast Europe now, and not to start our own action. That wasn't the plan at the beginning. We are here to learn about initiatives undertaken to overcome poverty here in the Balkans. It could be from groups, from organizations, from people. What is a common point is everybody is, all of them, they are trying to get involved people experiencing poverty. And we want to learn from that. And also what we learn from the people we have met is that they need spaces where they can share their doubts, share their questions, find supports, and give supports to one another. And so now we have many links, not only in Bulgaria, but as I said, in Hungary, North Macedonia, Romania, and Serbia. And that's the way we have been in touch with the Solidarity Club and Food Not-Bomb Sofia. And we have been impressed by a common goal, which is to leave no one behind. It's part of the Sustainable Development Goals. You may have heard about it. And we have this common goal to leave no one behind. And for us, what is the most important is to start by those who are the furthest behind first. If we want to be sure we are not going to forget anyone, we have to start to try to reach those who are the most forgotten. And also we believe that everybody has talents. Everybody has a knowledge. It's coming from the experience of life, coming from the studies, coming from the work experience. And it's very important, it's even essential for us to merge all these knowledges together if we want to eradicate poverty. Our goal is not only to support some people, of course it's important, but we have a more final goal, it's to put an end to poverty. That's unbearable, it's unacceptable. That's why we are not only speaking of the needs of the people, but we're also speaking of their strength, working with their strength. And we try to build together common capacities to think, to act, to decide together what should be done. And just for example, for people from Bulgaria, I could say that that's the way we're involved in Plovdiv, especially in the neighborhood of Stolipinovo, with an initiative called Mobile School Stolipinovo. And there we try to reach parents, families, children, but also the teachers, because we want to work together to make possible for every child to learn at school. And there is a huge path to reach that goal, but that's very important for us. And also last year, with Food Not-Bomb, we experienced together what we call the Festival of Shared Talents. Festival na Spodelinite Talenty na Bulgarski. It was 2 days. We were 150 people together, sharing our talent, discovering the talents of others, whether it could be dancing, Serbian dance, for those we can remember, or it can be playing athleticism, doing painting, and a lot of things, even playing accordion. Several people from the Solidarity Club participate, especially Stefan with his rap, and we may hear him later. And the evaluation on this was, when will be the next time? And because respect the dignity of people who are experiencing poverty, put an end to poverty, it demands to change our mindset, to see not only the needs of the people that are existing, but also that to give the floor to those who are the less heard. And that's I have always been amazed by the capacities of the people. We are not expecting so many people to have so many capacities. And why are we involved with the Solidarity Club? There is something, because mostly we can think that the Solidarity Club is sharing food. It's part of it. But on the top of that, the question is how to create a community together. And that is something that is really important. Take the time to discuss, to get organized together, to decide together what are the most important points we want to work on. I've always in mind a sentence that I've heard so many times by a woman living in poverty. She was always saying, there is nothing worse than someone willing something good for you instead of you. And it's part of our DNA, not to act for people, but to act with people. And that's what we like in the Solidarity Club. And this is something we try to experiment together. And very often the people who come on Sundays, they told us that, okay, we are coming for food, but not only. We are coming here to meet people, to break our isolation, to break our exclusion. And that's our way to get involved with Food Not Bomb in Sofia. Because when we try to, if we want to eradicate poverty, we need to define what is poverty. And when we try to work on this with people living in poverty, of course they do speak of their material deprivation, but also they speak of their exclusion, of the fact that their contributions are never recognized. Because just receiving day after day, years after days, it creates humiliation, instead of making possible for people to stand up for their rights. And that's what we want together, people to stand up for their rights, together. And last winter, just before the coronavirus crisis, with some of the members of the Solidarity Club, we went to, we organized discussion in a crisis center for homeless people here in Sofia, with people that nobody is expecting something for them. They're just left, and just they have a place where they can sleep for one night, but nothing is expected from them. And I would just quote one sentence from a man that was said during this discussion. He said, "We want a home. We want to have access to hygiene. But on the top of that, we want a place where we can be welcome. A place where we could have a coffee, where we can discuss and be listened to. The most difficult is that nobody is listening to us. We are told to go away. When we enter a cafe, we are chased. Every day like this, it is unbearable. And we believe that the Solidarity Club could be such a place. It's a long process. It will be a long process to live in such a society in which everyone belongs to, in which no one is left behind. But really we want to start here and now to build a place where everyone can give the best of himself or herself. It's a question of giving an opinion, of contributing to a discussion, but also of analyzing together our situations, analyzing together what kind of future we want. And this will push all of us toward the respect of the human rights for everyone. Thank you. Happy evening.